Adam Kinzinger joins us. Good evening, sir.
Hey, Greta. Good evening. How are you?
Fine. So some judge tells the Department of Homeland Security to release terrorists who apparently are affiliated with the group that apparently took credit for bombing our embassy in Turkey. So how does this happen?
Yeah, well, look, this is obviously a reason why I think we need real border security. It's a reason why we have to be very, very conscious of the fact that this isn't just an immigration discussion we're having on our southern border. This is really a discussion of national security. While these men were not ISIS, I mean, what's going to stop somebody like an ISIS member or a member of al-Qaeda from doing the exact same thing? And so it shows a couple of issues. Number one, obviously the need for border security to protect us. Folks in my district are counting on the federal government to do that. And the other thing it shows is I think some kind of a reform in the immigration justice system. This sounds like a standard immigration judge that released two of these folks. And I think when we talk about areas where terrorism's involved or you have high-risk individuals, maybe more focus ought to be put on whether or not those people should be released.
All right. Well, they claim to be part of a group that's on a State Department terrorist list. That ought to be a little bit of a red flag. And then, as I understand it, that they had they were released on a $25,000 bond. I don't know if that was each, but where in the world did they get $50,000? That ought to be a little bit suspicious as well. And there must be some. I mean, like who's on first on this? I mean, the only thing that's left is that they're traveling one way without any baggage to make it more suspicious.
Right, and that's something that ought to be looked into, and hopefully, and I think will be looked into. But again, there's some questions about which group did these guys belong to, one being a Marxist group that was responsible for the bombing in Turkey against a U.S. embassy, the other being kind of a Kurdish separatist group. Regardless of who they were, the point is this, is you can't have a situation in this country where you have people on a terror watch list being set free and being let go. And again, it shows the bigger issue of the border and how important that is to secure, not just for immigration, but for security.
And the other thing that's sort of disturbing, at least to me, Congressman, is that I can't get really straight answers about this. I can't get information. I don't know, maybe they are part of these terrorist groups or whatever, but the fact that we have questions and we can't get straight answers, and it's not something that we want to be talking about in a rearview mirror. I mean, it's something we want to be proactive about. Our people are coming into this country. Who are they? And if they're connected with terrorist groups, we ought to at least, have answers and figure out before they get in and not, months later.
Well, that's it. I mean, look, with terrorism, you have to get it right 100% of the time. If you get it right 99% of the time, it's going to cost un-American or Americans their lives. So this is an explosive story, and I think goes to the bigger picture of what are we doing to secure our country.
At first I didn't blame the Secretary of Homeland Security since a judge ordered it. But then I think to myself, why didn't he speak up? I mean, they've known about it. Why didn't they say something sooner?
No, because they knew we'd talk about it. They knew we'd see, this feeds into the issue of immigration reform and that discussion of, okay, look, border security is not just about the issue of immigration. It's about things, with securing our country. And so why didn't they bring it up earlier? Maybe because that would feed into that whole conversation. But there's a lot of answers that I think need to be ascertained here. And I know members of Congress are going to be focused on it. And because, look, our biggest job, our most important job, is to keep the American people safe. And that's what we have to do. That's what we're charged with.
Congressman, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Greta.